Hey, Year 6. Back to me again this week. You may have noticed that we're on a little bit of a rotation when it comes to doing your home learning. So you had me do first week, then you had Miss Sargent do the second, Mr. Fern do the third, and then we're back to me again for the fourth week of home learning. Crazy, crazy times. I'm really hoping that you're finding it really interesting and that it's giving you plenty to do at home. But I'm going to give you a bit of a reminder to start off with. If you find yourself at a little bit of a loose end, don't really know what to do, you've helped around the house, you've maybe gone out for your daily walk, you've been in the garden, you've tidied your bedroom, you've made your bed, you've done all the jobs that somebody at home has told you to do. You've maybe helped play with your younger brothers and sisters, helped them with their homework, and you just think, I'm a bit stumped, and you don't really know what to do. Read. Honestly, I'm reading loads. I'm using this time to catch up on doing loads of reading of books that I started and then didn't get around to finishing, or ones that have just been sat on the shelf waiting to be read for ages. So I've got quite a few on the go at once at the minute. So if you do find yourself at a loose end, pick up a book. Honestly, the difference it's going to make to your writing, to your language use, to your understanding, your comprehension, your fluency of reading, the difference that you're going to see in your reading ability will be massive if you read every single day. I can't stress that enough. It's really, really, really important. But the other learning opportunities that we've put out there for you this week in terms of English are similar to something that we did a little bit earlier on in the year. I'd like you to pick a fiction story. It can be one that you've read really recently. It can be one that you've read in the past, but it does need to be one that you remember really, really clearly, because I'd like you to retell that story, but from the perspective of somebody else. Now, in my class recently, we have just finished Holes. We did just finish Holes before we went into lockdown. So it might be cool to rewrite Holes maybe from Mr. Pendanski's perspective, maybe Zero's perspective. Think about the characters in the story who you'd be able to tell a really interesting perspective from. Zero, for example, we find out a lot about at the end of that text. So it might be quite cool to rewrite the story through his eyes. Now we know what we know at the end of the story. It might be a traditional fairy tale. We've done something similar in school, and I know lots of you had lots of different ideas, but we just went with one as a class, so you might want to explore those. Hansel and Gretel from the witch's perspective maybe, or Little Red Riding Hood from the wolf's perspective. Maybe change the characters up a bit, make the villains into heroes and vice versa. Totally up to you. Be as creative as you like with it. So that's your writing learning opportunity for this week. Try and add to it every single day. Don't get me wrong, the learning that we see coming in is great, but we'd like you to be doing a little bit every day, little and often. So maybe you could create a book, do a chapter each day. Balls in your court, really. Up to you. Maths. I think you're all going to love maths this week because everyone loves arithmetic. And the reason everybody loves arithmetic is because you're so good at it. That's why. And it guts me that before we broke up, loads and loads of you were getting 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40 even out of 40. And everyone has worked so hard to get above 30 anyway in their arithmetic tests. And I don't want that to go unnoticed, and I don't want you to lose practice in those skills. So as part of the PDF that you'll get sent alongside this video, I'm also going to attach 5 arithmetic tests. You can do 1 per day. They're exactly the same sort of questions as you would get in the test papers. I've tried to squish them down so that you've got just 1 test on 1 page. We know, don't we, that normally they go over 5, 6, 7 pages. You don't need that, I don't think. You just need a piece of paper and the PDF up on your phone, iPad, laptop, whatever it is that you're accessing, and answer the questions from there. Remember, you have half an hour normally. Slightly different situation at the minute, I'm aware, but yeah, half an hour-ish normally to complete those. Science. I took inspiration for your science learning from Nissi. Nissi was learner, I believe, last week in Mr. Fern's class. And so we'd like you to recreate a science investigation at home. where you're going to use all the P's ideally. You've got pose a question, plan an investigation, pick a variable, predict an outcome, and then present your results. And the question that we'd like you to explore is, how does exercise affect our heart rate? Again, we've done something similar in the past, but I need you to think about how we could improve that experiment that we did even more. You might want to try different exercise types, then create maybe a comparative bar chart of the results. You might want to do the same exercise, but for different periods of time. So measure your heart rate after 30 seconds, then maybe measure it after a minute, then maybe after 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and compare the same exercise but over a period of time. It might be an investigation that's very individual to you and your fitness levels. Maybe you could experiment with how much time it takes for you to return back to your resting heart rate after different exercises. There's all sorts of different avenues that you can take it down, really. Right, I really hope that you find this little tutorial video helpful alongside the PDF sheet that you'll get for your home learning and the arithmetic tests as well. If any of you need any more help or support, I am at the end of an email, year6parents@eastparkacademy.com. I love to hear from you. I love to see the pictures of your learning. TT Rockstars, by the way, most people have accessed that and we are smashing it in year 6. In comparison to last week, I believe, where year 5 were kicking our butts, I think we've sorted ourselves out, really. We've done a really good job so far this week. So keep that up, because we go on at least 2-3 times a week and check that you're accessing TT Rockstars, and we want to be getting those emails from you with all of your home learning in as well. Please stay safe, guys. I'm missing you like you wouldn't even believe, like you wouldn't even imagine. All of your staff do. It's not just me. Every single member of the year 6 team. We meet every week via Zoom and we all miss you terribly. Fingers crossed we get to see you again as soon as humanly possible. But please stay safe, guys. Look after each other. Take care.